Welcome to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel, where we bring fun and magic back to your life and business. I'm your host, Kate Decker, aka the Sparkle Bomb Coach, and I help women to connect with their soul and intuition, tap into their desires, and magnetize everything they desire in life, business, and relationships by turning on their inner sparkle. I'm so excited for you to be here. So let's sparkle! Hello, you guys. So welcome back to the podcast. So some of you might have noticed that we are going through a rebrand, which this episode is all about that. And just to make sure that no one's confused, the podcast for now is staying the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast, and the group rebranded to the Intuitive Leader. So I'm so excited, and let's dive into today's episode. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to be here today with you because, as probably many of you know, we are in the middle of the rebrand rebirth party. And I am so excited. I am so excited. And for those of you who don't know, well, now you know, you found yourself in the middle of a party. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been on my heart for so long. And I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to be releasing this special episode for the rebrand and rebirth party. So I hope that this episode will give you everything that you just needed today, or right now, wherever you are in your lifetime, in your business, in your day. And if for whatever reason you are not part of the party and you want to join us inside of now the Intuitive Leader Society, all of the details are in the show notes. We are having a week of a party with presents and gifts and meditation, special trainings, and it's just so much fun. And the grand finale is going to be happening on Sunday, September 6th at 11 a.m. PST, and I'm just so freaking excited. And then we're actually ending on the 7th, on Monday, with behind the scenes. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you don't want to miss it, if you want to join us, the link to join us is in the show notes. And let's dive into this episode. You guys, I cannot believe that it's almost 2 years since I started my coaching journey fully on. Holy guacamole, so much has happened in those 2 years. And wherever you are in your journey right now, whether you are just thinking about starting your coaching or you're already started and you maybe are launching programs, or maybe you already have a couple of clients, or maybe you are already making a lot of money in your business and you're growing and expanding. I want you to take a moment and just reflect on how far you've come. It's so easy to just be on the go and go, and always look at the next thing, because that's who we are, especially as entrepreneurs and as human beings. We are meant to evolve, we're meant to grow, and sometimes that puts us in the roller coaster of always looking for the next thing and never fully, truly being present and anchoring in everything that we've done so far. So just take a second, take a moment to really anchor in and celebrate yourself for where you are in your journey. Because no matter if you are just about to fully dive into entrepreneurship or into coaching, or you've been doing this for a while, you've come a long way from the day that you first had the idea. Not because of the time that was in between, but because of the person that you have become in the process. The person that you evolved into, the person that you let unleash from you, from your soul. And this is what I really want to talk about today, about unleashing the person within, unleashing the power within, unleashing who you are meant to be, and letting it be seen and recognized. That's evolution. That's the evolution. That's the evolution that matters the most. So as I said, as entrepreneurs, we evolve, we grow, we expand all the time. That's how it's meant to be. We are meant to grow and evolve and expand. And sometimes it feels like it's gorgeous and beautiful and sparkly. And sometimes it feels like we are freaking going to die. And no matter how the expansion and the evolution comes, it's all okay. And I want you to know that it's all okay. And you are going to be more than okay. So one of the reasons why I even called the rebrand party, rebrand and rebirth party, is because it, for me, this part of evolution, diving and becoming the intuitive leader and almost unbecoming the Sparkle Bomb coach, has felt like I was giving birth to myself, as weird as it sounds, because it came with surprise and it came with like the first pains, and then it came with like the full-on birth, and then now it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and feels so good. And sometimes our evolution just feels all over the place. Sometimes we don't want to let go of certain parts of our identity because we fear what happens next, even if we are leaping into something exciting. So right now you might be at the crossroads of you fully leaping into launching your business, fully coming out of the closet and sharing who you are and what do you stand for and what do you believe in. And that may feel so scary because part of you knows that you are going to have to leave a big part of your old identity, what it feels like, behind. And whether you are going through an evolution in your business, and maybe you are at the time when you are about to expand and grow even more, it may feel as if you are leaving some part of you behind. And that's why it's so scary, because we don't like leaping into the unknown. Sometimes we do, but when it comes to who we are and how do we feel in our own bodies, in our own energy, we can get really scared, and it can get really scary. Especially if we've been liking or maybe even loving that part of us, or if we've been comfortable with that part of us, even if we didn't like it. It is scary to let that go. But the truth is that we're never, ever letting anything go, because the point of evolution is unbecoming who we are not anymore and becoming who we are. And this is why it gets so confusing, or it can get so confusing, because we don't know how's it going to feel. And I have a lot of clients who come to me with big, big dreams, and every time that I have my first call or an intensive with a client, honestly, that's like one of my favorite calls, because that's the one when they share with me all of their dreams, all of their desires without any fear. And they just tell me all that they want and all that they want to achieve, all that they want to be, all the things that they want to change in the world and in their world and in their life and in their families. And my heart just sings as I listen to them, because I know that it's meant to be theirs. It's meant for them. And I also know that this person that I'm speaking then on that first call is going to completely transform and change and unbecome who she isn't and become who she is. Because in order for us to be a match for all of these big, big, big dreams and desires, we need to be the person who is a match for that. And that's very, very often a different version of us. It's not different in the sense of you have to become someone different. It's actually just becoming who you were meant to be all along. It's unleashing the you that is within you. And often we know that we have to become a different person for that, or we understand that it's going to be a different version of us. But what we often don't know is that version of us is already there. It's in our hearts and in our souls. It's imprinted there. And all we have to do is to strip away all of the layers of what we are not. And sometimes when you do that for the first time, it feels so good, because most likely we We actually didn't feel comfortable in the version of us that was there before. And that's what happened for me with the evolution from the little girl, the little chicken nugget, the little Kate, and becoming and stepping into being the sparkle queen. It felt so good because I was so done and so sick of that little girl identity. Of that little girl that was always waiting for permission, always waiting for approval, always waiting for something to happen so she can fully own her voice. It felt so good to step into it, and I took on that part of me, on that part of my identity, and I let go of everything else, and I just stepped into it right on. But when I first started feeling the nudges of something new and something different, I resisted it, and I didn't want to see it because I liked who I was. That was who I always thought I was gonna be, and I was meant to be. Right? I recognized myself in that part of me. I felt home with the Sparkle Queen until I didn't. And I knew that there was something new coming, and I couldn't put my finger on it, which was the most frustrating thing ever because I didn't know what's going to be next. And me being impatient, I wanted to know right now, right then. But that's not what the universe had in store for me. So this part of evolution, it really felt like an entire rebirth of me. And I had a feeling, and I had this inner knowing that I am going to be a reborn me and more of me, and it's going to eventually feel more like home, but I didn't like it. I resisted it. I didn't like it because there was so much more that was coming up. My spiritual and my psychic side was coming forth, which I liked and I didn't like because I want to hide it and keep it for myself. My boss vibe was coming through, which I liked but also didn't like because it required that I had to be the person who has those uncomfortable conversations and stands in her power and asks for the refund and asks for clarification and doesn't let other people just kind of mess with her. And it was the leader part that was coming forth, which I didn't like at all because I also felt very comfortable in being the person who waits until someone else figures it out, rather than actually always being in the forefront and being the one who figures it out. I didn't like that. Being the Sparkle Queen was so much more comfortable. It felt good. Oh, I feel all cringy I'm talking about this now. This is so real and raw. Whew. And my people-pleasing and compromising, those little leftovers that were still there, they had to go bye-bye. And there was a lot of healing that had to be done, and a lot of stories and old stories coming up that had to be healed. And a lot of resistance that came up with that felt like, oh, I've already done this. But this is the part of the evolution. It really is a strip down of our soul. We are stripping away the layers, and they may come in different waves, and they may come what feels like it's coming up again, but it's actually in a different way. Because if it all came at once, all together, phew, I don't know if we could handle it. And when we stop resisting our evolution, when we stop wanting to stay with our old beliefs and our old identities, the evolution becomes so much easier. The rebirth becomes so much more exciting. The truth is sometimes we don't even pay attention that we're identifying ourselves with our old self. That we're actually trying to be who we were, and we are not anymore. That's what I did. I tried for a bit to go back to the times when everything felt so good. Not that it didn't feel good along the way, but I wanted to go back to when I just felt like the most Sparkle Queen. And I tried to recreate that. But we cannot ever recreate something in the past because we're no longer that person that we were in that moment. And truly, we wouldn't want to go backwards. We evolved since then. We evolved and we learned so many lessons, and we cannot forget that. So the only direction that we can go is forward. through with the evolution. So what part of your evolution are you resisting right now? What part of you are you not letting come forth and to be seen and to be recognized and to be loved by you? What old part of you are you holding on to? Where are you staying in the comfort and wanting to be the same when actually what you want is the evolution and growth and expansion? Our evolution is meant to be beautiful. And when I say it's meant to be beautiful, it doesn't mean that it's always going to feel just good. Even pain and processing our pain and healing can be beautiful. Even roses that are so gorgeous have thorns. And somewhere along the way of this evolution, I remembered that every time in my life when I wished for the world to slow down so I can just catch up, it was not what I needed. What I needed to unleash the brakes and let go and give into the evolution, into the growth, into the movement, and keep the momentum rolling. And just keep walking one step in front of the other. Keep walking towards the next step of my evolution, towards the next thing that needed to be let go of, towards becoming more of who I am. So evolution and our growth and expansion and becoming the new version of ourselves, it's actually not becoming anyone new. It's becoming who we are meant to be now. And that changes and that grows every single day. And sometimes to our ego, that doesn't feel good. And when we want to grow and expand and evolve, and we declare that's what we want, our body and the universe starts putting pieces in movement for us. But then our ego denies it. Our ego doesn't want to grow and evolve because it's comfortable. It feels so good where it is. It wants to slow down. It wants to take a step back. It wants to take a break. It wants to take a break from maybe even coaching and learning because it's so scared that we would have to shed that part of our old identity and leap into the next one part of us. And then the ego starts coming up with all of these reasons why we can't and why we shouldn't, and how that doesn't fit our time and our schedule and our lifestyle and our money. But that's just the ego talking. That's not the part of us that wants to grow and evolve. And that part of us that wants to grow and evolve is so strongly tied with our intuition, with our body, with our inner voice, and with our soul. And it's only when we pause to lean into our heart, to listen to our soul, to listen to our body, to listen for what we asked for, and we lean into that part of us, into the evolution, into the growth, that we can actually strip away the old layers and lean into who we're always meant to be now. And with every part of unbecoming of who we are not and becoming more of who we are, we become a match to something new, to something even better, to something even more beautiful, because that's how it is. So I want you to ask yourself today, what part of you are you holding on to when deep down you know that you're meant to let go of that? What part of you do you need to lean into? What power of yours do you need to lean into? How can you lean more into your trust, into yourself, into your power, into your desires, into your dreams? Or maybe the step for you is to commit to your evolution today. Because when we commit to evolution, we can be present where we are while also moving forward. Instead of being on the go and always looking at the next thing, we get to be present where we are and lean into where we're heading. Don't ever let where you are stop you and prevent you from going where you want to go. Whether is it that you're somewhere that you don't like it, that it's not comfortable, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't make sense, don't let that stop you. Or whether you're somewhere where right now it's actually very comfortable and it feels kind of safe and it feels good and feel certain. Don't let that stop you from going where you want to go. The world is going through a lot of shedding this year. A lot of shedding and unbecoming. And becoming and tapping into who we are always within our souls. And however is the experience that you're feeling for yourself, trust that it's for the highest good of all. Don't fear the evolution, the growth, the change. Embrace it. Take one more step forward towards that. One of my friends often says, the universe bends for the courageous one. And it's so true. And it takes a lot of courage to commit to evolution and growth and expansion. Because it's not so easy. It can be simple, but it doesn't always feel easy. And I know that you being in my world, whether is it you being part of the Intuitive Leader Society, or you're one of my clients, or you're one of my mastermind clients, or you are part of any of my programs, or maybe you're alumni, or maybe you just found me on the podcast. I know that something led you here today so you can listen to this. So you can embrace your evolution and growth and shedding of who you've been, even if it felt good or especially if it didn't, and leap into more of you. And trust that through the transition, even if you feel like a little goo, you're going to be the beautiful butterfly. It is going to feel like home. The leap, the second before the leap is the scariest one. The second before the decision is scarier than the leap itself. Once you decide, it's done. And the universe bends for you. And the universe works in your favor. Throughout my journey, there have been so many moments when it didn't make any sense. When I decided to be the courageous one. Whether it was when I first invested in private coaching. Whether it was when I invested in psychic development. Whether was it when I decided to launch my mastermind. Or with this last piece of evolution and tapping and leaping into the intuitive leader. First, behind the scenes on my own. And now you get to see it. What I've been doing and working and being behind the scenes. And every single time, the universe had my back in a way that I couldn't have predicted. But it starts with a decision. And you're the only one who can make the decision. I can't make the decision for you. Your partner cannot make the decision for you. Even if it feels that some people are trying to make the decision for you, no one can make a decision for you unless you let them. You get to decide. So what I want you to reflect on today is when you look at the vision of the life that you want to design, that you want to live, when you look at your dreams and your desires, and you look at the woman that is a match for that. How is she? Who is the woman that is a natural match for that? And ask yourself, what is the step that you can take today to get closer to being her, to be closer to embodying her, to be closer to be matched for what she is a match for? And I can guarantee you it's going to require courage, and that's okay. And I can guarantee you it's going to require tapping into your inner voice, into your intuition, and that's okay. Because trusting that voice, trusting our intuition, is trusting our power. And I shared on one of those wallpaper graphics that I created for you for the party that our dreams and our desires is actually the evidence of the potential power that is waiting for us to be activated. So just the fact that we have these dreams and desires means that there is already within us, there is the power to be a match for that. But we need to activate it. And we only activate it when we act on it, when we show up for it, when we be it, when we become it, when we unleash it, when we let it out, when we lean into that power. And I know that you feel the next step in your heart, and you might have been avoiding it for so long. But trust me, that is the step that you need to take on the journey of your evolution. However big, however scary it seems, you know it in your soul, it's the step that you've been avoiding. And I'll tell you what, there were a couple of things that I tried to avoid in my life, and it never worked out. I could never actually avoid it. So what I changed throughout my journey as an entrepreneur is that every time that I felt a nudge and a movement, I stopped questioning it and I just acted on it and I took the step, and the universe always bent for me. I would love for you to share with me, what is the next step that you're going to take? So whether you screenshot this episode and you tag me on Instagram stories at KDecker Coaching, or you come into the Intuitive Leader Society and you share with us there, tell us, share with us. And if the step that you've been avoiding is to jump into one of my courses, whether is it the Intuitive Coach, the Intuitive Leader, or maybe the entire Sparkles and Champagne immersion, the 6-month mentorship leap, or if what you've been avoiding is to hiring a private mentor and you resonate with me and you've been eyeing me, I have 2 private coaching spots opening up for the woman that is ready to fully step into who she meant to be now, so she can be the match for all of her dreams and desires and own her power unapologetically and trust herself with every step of the way. And by extension of that, tap into 10K, 20K months and above. So if this is calling your name, feel free to send me a message. Feel free to let me know. I'm ready whenever you are. And if none of this is calling your name and there's something different that you know that you have to do, go and do it. Go and do it. You're going to feel so proud of yourself. I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. So if you loved this episode, please take a screenshot, share it on IG stories, and let me know that you loved it. Tag me at KDecker Coaching. Or if you didn't subscribe to the podcast yet, subscribe to the podcast. Write me a short review. It'll mean the world to me. And I hope to see you inside of the party. And if not, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.